This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News. News-free Dixie for the 21st century.
This, like, I know people talk about, like, noticing, like, you know, it's about it, like, Supreme Court just approved same-sex marriage throughout all the 50 states, and I know people talk about the behavior of black women today, whether it be negative or positive. Like somebody said they notice among young black girls the high level of bisexuality and lesbianism. What's your take on that?
Well, one of the problems today is for the last two generations, the boys have not been raised properly, and it has been the fad across the land to raise them like they're girls. They're raised in a soft fashion, they're not raised in a tough fashion. That means the young girls don't have potential men to mate with. I don't know what they're gonna do. The solution I hear is just more of the same, which is not going to work. Okay. Now look at it this way. Irrespective of race and ethnicity, and you have to understand it's not just us. The Defense Department released a study in 2011 that showed that 42% of all Americans 35 and under were illegitimate, irrespective of their race or ethnicity. When you talked about those who had been born in the 50 largest cities of the country, 74% 35 and under were illegitimate, and for the 25 largest cities, 82% of those born in those cities who were 35 and under were illegitimate. In other words, the family has gone by the wayside. For the last decade, each year, irrespective of race or ethnicity, only 28% of each year's high school graduates are male. That means there are 3 girls for every boy with a high school education. When you talk about 4-year colleges and universities, public or private, irrespective of race or ethnicity, only 32% of the undergrads are male, 68% are female. When you talk about grad students, it's 36% male, 64% female, which means there are 2 girls for every boy. Now, the rationale that the Supreme Court used in part to sustain gay marriage, I can see easily being transferred to, say, polygamy, since the rearing of children, which is what all of humanity has considered marriage to be, just a cultural adjunct that has developed in lockstep to match the physiological evolution of humans and their child breeding, well, their courtship, mating, sexual breeding, and offspring rearing strategies. I mean, I guess that goes out the window, so it's all supposed to be about First Amendment religion and 14th Amendment for the gays, but everybody threw the biological thing out the door. But the rationale would also legitimate polygamy. So why not? I think there's somebody out in Montana or somewhere, maybe Utah, who has filed to say, why can't we have me issued my marriage license for my second wife so I can have 2? What happens using the same legitimacy, since it's no longer about reproductive strategies? How about 2 same-sex siblings who decide that they want to get married? Can they? How about a mother marrying a daughter or a father marrying a son? Incest, but that only has to do with reproduction. If that's not what the essence is about any longer.
What about bestiality?
Yeah, bestiality.
So it's opened up Pandora box.
Yeah, it's all kind of things, inheritance and other stuff. You know, I don't care what you do behind closed doors. That's your business. If you want to get married, it's now legal, but what's happened to the family that's supposed to be raising human offspring so that they are supposed to be able to be human adults and carry on, you know? It's not just the gay marriage thing, it's like what we've done to the institution of marriage. You got this thing in the late 60s where the feminists were going around on college campuses saying that war is a man thing and the way to stop war is to raise the boys like girls. So there has been a down of masculinity around the country over the last 45 or so years. You have this thing where it's, you know, you're a straight guy, you're walking down the street, and, you know, out of the corner of your eye, you see certain kinds of movements, you look, and then you see, whoa, wait a minute, it's not a girl, it's a guy. You know, it's like kind of disconcerting. Or you see something that looks like a guy walking down the street, and then, wait a minute, that's a girl. California right now has got LGBTQ, lesbian, gays, bisexuals, transvestite, and questioning. And they're trying to get the California school systems to require instruction to high school students that they need to explore their sexuality to determine whether they really want to be hetero, homo, or bi. And what happened to this thing about us trying to keep high school kids from engaging in sexuality irresponsibly, you see? California has a law that's been in place for several years where if a kid kindergarten through 12th grade decides that he or she wants to go to the other sex's bathroom because they would prefer to be that gender, then they have to be allowed. And if the kids who are supposed to be in that bathroom don't like it, they have to find another. All well and good for somebody in the 10th or 11th grade, etc. But what about kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade? So you've got all kinds of things out there that get put into the wrong mode. Robertson, in his dissent, pointed out the biological mechanism and association of the institution of marriage with human reproduction and child rearing, but the majority didn't touch on that, and they phrased it in terms of religious freedom versus 14th Amendment rights. But you see, there is one funny kind of thing out there. Although a lot of people say they don't believe in it, there is evolution, and there's that grinning specter that says most every species that's ever existed is gone extinct. So what are we setting in motion in terms of, will there be people around a whole bunch of days after tomorrow?